I bought the cheapest all metal beadlocks on Amazon right here. 1.9. I'm going to show you these and mount 3 different brand tires to make sure they all fit. Let's get to the table. You get 4 packages just like this. There are 2 bolts holding the hub on. You need 6. They're in the bag. All these bolts right here, there's only 2 holding them on. So guess what? You got to put them all in. On the back, 4 bolts hold the whole wheel assembly together. So, yep. So real quickly, we get to put all those little screws in. They use a 1.5 millimeter hex wrench. Once you have all those in finger tight, then you get to come back and make sure that each one is pulled. Now these are small bolts, so you don't want to do a whole lot, but you want them to stay. And yes, if you want to, you can use some mild thread lock. I mean, the beadlock rings do come apart, so I guess you can change them out. They do have more beadlock rings available. However, I just buy the ones that I actually want in the first place, for the most part. Now it's time for the center hex hub part. Now this one right here, as you can see, it's actually black. This is the ones from the Power Hobby wheel, and that's the ones that come with the wheel. So yes, they are actually interchangeable with other metric style hubs. Once you finish getting all 4 of these set up, it's time to mount some tires. Haha, this is where the good stuff starts happening. Take those 2 bolts right out and we get to do a little work. Pretty much standard 3-piece wheel design. Now years ago I did have a wheel. I forget who it was for, but there was only 3 bolts back here and they held up fine. I have never broken a cheap beadlock wheel. Never. Maybe I just don't drive hard enough. I took a couple longer bolts and I did shave them down a little bit because it's kind of tight putting these into place. I'm going to show you guys how I shaved them. I took a fresh bolt, put it right into my drill, pulled that down. I didn't go too much with it. You don't want to go too much because you can damage the threads. And then I put this in reverse because that's the way the file is going to work. And just simply drive it like this and like that. That way I could take this down smaller so it would fit the wheels. And I'm referring to this area right here. It's got a recess specifically for their bolts. And this bolt right here, without being adjusted down, without being filed down, it doesn't fit right. The first tire to mount is the Proline. These are the Trenchers. Now Proline has a beadlock that can cause a little bit of issue, but we're going to see how they fit. Let's do this. Now the distance between the hole here and the threads is a little bit farther than what the stock short bolts can do, so this is why I made the longer bolts. Now these will bottom out in there. They absolutely will, but we're just going to get 2 of them started because, you know, it's kind of like opposite sides. If your wheel has 5 or 6, just, you know, use a little common sense and get everything centered up. And hopefully this pulls down. I know for a while the Prolines, they were so hard to fit on different wheels. And what was bad is the Prolines got some of the best tires on the market. So, you know, it's like best tires on the market, hardest tires to actual beat up. So we're going to pull these down a little bit. I want these to actually get to the end of the threads like that right there. You're not going to pull them very hard. In fact, you really don't want to pull them very hard at all. And then you look and try to make sure that the bead is seating properly. So far this one's looking pretty good. And now we're going to start with the actual legit bolts. See how much shorter those are? Now they go in nice and easy. I'm going to go ahead and put the other one in. that right there. And now once we get these right here pulled down, again, you're not wanting to, crank on them or anything like that, but you do want the wheel to actually come together completely. Now we're going to take these off, take these out, because these are no longer needed. So now we've got those in there. They're not fully pulled all the way down yet. Let's go back and check. I've had some tires, like the Predator compounds on some wheels. Man, I had to actually put the wheels and tires in the freezer to try to make everything go together. WD-40, different oils and stuff, just make things excessively slick and just bad news. Sometimes they really do not get along very well. And the Proline is now pulled all the way down. There you go. Now this has the flubber stuffer insert and feels like it's pretty good in there. Up next is the Duratrax Fossil. I'm really liking this tire. I really am. So we're going to go ahead and get this one set up. Now this has the $35 inserts in these. The Yizzer inserts. And there we go. The fossils went on perfectly. Pretty good. Now, if you put these together and the wheel pretty much falls together all the way and tightens up without having any rubber resistance as far as the beads, chances are good that the wheel is going to spin inside of the tire. So you got to have some squish of the bead. I saved the JConcepts Landmines for last. And the reason is these have the one single stage foam, and putting these together with this on this narrow of a wheel is a major hassle. I'm going to do a modification to that foam to make this easier. What this does is this keeps the foam out of the bead area. So hopefully this will be enough to do what we need to do. Now let's see how this is going to work out. Hopefully I can show you guys that the foam is no longer trying to wrap over the edge of the insert. This one is not going to go together very smooth. Time to break out a beadlock buddy. I believe this is one of DSM's first creations here. Hopefully I can get this to make the pull here. There's supposed to be a wing nut over here. See how the tire is not wanting to fit very well into the bead? Got to have a little bit of a pressure on the bead, tire, stuff like that to try to make this thing work. So hopefully I can get this to go enough that I can make it where I can show you guys that I can get all this to go into where it's supposed to be, and hopefully get this thing to bead up correctly. Looks like I might be far enough that I can use one of the longer screws. All right, I got one in, started. Try to get another one started. Okay, that one started. So now that we've got that going, the longer screws are in. I'm going to take this all the way off. I need another 4mm wing nut. And now you can see some of the bead is not sitting like where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to try to work and get that down in there like it's should. If I didn't trim those, these would be close to really hard. Really difficult to get. So I'm going to pull these down a little bit more. Sometimes beadlocks can really test your patience. Looks good. Looks good, looks good. Looks like they're coming together all right here. That did actually go in. And no vent. Which means this will be perfect for mud and stuff. Well, I gotta take those 2 bolts out right there. However, I wanna try something. This is the exact same tire, except it has one of those $35 inserts in there. So let's see how this works. Notice how the inserts basically do the same thing I did by cutting the foam by all the manufacturers, really. That was so much easier dealing with a printed insert. Oh my goodness, that was just, that made it a piece of cake. Big difference. There you go, guys. Check that out. Now, the JConcepts with the stock foams, because they really kind of expand everything in the tire, it made it a little bit of a challenge to put together, but I was able to. I put the printed insert in and boom, perfectly. So 3 different brands of tires on the same wheels, everything beaded up beautifully. And like I say, I've never broken a cheap wheel. The hubs can be swapped out. I know the Power Hobbies fit. Probably pretty much anything on Amazon fits. Probably not the actual Vanquish SLW hubs. However, yeah, we can change them out. Can probably change out the rings and all that, but just order the colors you want to start with. That was perfect. The wheels held up beautifully. They'll take so much more abuse than what I just gave them. All right, that was an easy drive. Wheels, beautiful. Tires, hooked up great. The user inserts, phenomenal. Best combo out there. I'm telling you right now. About maybe 125. Yeah, but that's awesome. I'm going to order more of these wheels. Guys, hopefully you liked the video. Check out the wheels down below. Tires, everything. Awesome combo. Check that description. Use those links. Hit that subscribe and ring that bell. See you later. Hope you guys have a great day. If you're still watching, you are top shelf. You are the cream of the crop, the pick of the litter. You are phenomenal. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. Now, down below, there are links for the products you see. Also for channel memberships, if you guys want to be a part. Channel members get early viewing on pretty much everything that I can. So, guys, check that description. There's a lot of info down there. Thank you all for watching.